Everyone assumes ultimate relaxation heals your physical body, but doing absolutely nothing triggers cellular death. If you want to understand the biological traps controlling your daily life, subscribe and follow this journey now. We are culturally conditioned to view total inactivity as the ultimate reward after decades of exhausting labor. You probably dream of sitting motionless on a tropical beach without a single urgent task demanding your focus. When you finally achieve that complete stillness, your nervous system interprets the silence as a fatal failure. Why would your own biology begin dismantling your internal organs simply because you stopped moving temporarily? The answer requires looking back 300,000 years at how early hominids survived the harsh wilderness. Our ancestors did not possess thick protective fur or sharp claws to fight large predators on the African plains. Instead of brute strength, human survival relied entirely on extreme cardiovascular endurance and constant motion. We survived by chasing deer and antelope for miles until those faster animals collapsed from extreme heat exhaustion. Because constant movement demanded massive caloric energy, evolution designed our bodies to be ruthlessly efficient. Maintaining dense bone mass and thick muscle tissue requires a massive amount of your daily metabolic resources. If you stop hunting and gathering, your brain assumes those expensive physical structures are no longer necessary. This evolutionary efficiency explains what happens inside modern hospitals when healthy patients stay in bed too long. How quickly does the human body physically break down when all external resistance and physical challenges disappear? In the 1990s, the American Space Agency conducted extreme bed rest studies to simulate zero gravity. Researchers paid perfectly healthy volunteers to lie completely flat in a laboratory bed for 90 straight days. Without gravity providing continuous resistance, the volunteers lost nearly 20% of their total bone mass. Their cardiovascular capacity plummeted rapidly, and their stabilizing muscles dissolved into useless soft tissue. This physical decay occurs through a biological process called apoptosis, where unused cells undergo programmed suicide. Evolution literally cannibalizes your inactive physical structures to conserve precious energy for future starvation. While muscle atrophy is visually obvious, the damage caused by profound boredom extends deep into your actual brain. What happens to your cognitive function when your mind no longer encounters complex problems requiring a solution? In the 1950s, a prominent Canadian university isolated students in dark rooms wearing thick, heavy gloves. Scientists completely deprived these young subjects of any meaningful sensory input or engaging mental stimulation. Within 48 hours, the sane participants began experiencing terrifying visual and auditory hallucinations. When the human brain lacks external friction, a specialized neural network called the default mode network activates. This specific internal brain circuit dominates your thoughts whenever you are passively resting or feeling deeply bored. Instead of providing peaceful rest, an overactive default mode network causes severe rumination and deep depression. Your mind turns inward and manufactures imaginary threats because it requires problems to justify its own existence. This neurological reality proves that total cognitive rest does not rejuvenate the brain, but actively destroys focus. If our biology demands friction, why did modern society build an entire economic system dedicated to avoiding effort? The global consumer economy profits massively by selling you the dangerous illusion of absolute comfort and total ease. We engineered smart homes that eliminate physical movement and digital feeds that eradicate any moments of silence. This artificial convenience conflicts with our Paleolithic hardware that expects daily environmental struggle. The most tragic manifestation of this conflict occurs when elderly citizens finally reach their long-awaited retirement. A demographic study published in 2010 tracked thousands of adults leaving their lifelong careers. Researchers found that individuals who stopped working entirely faced a significantly higher risk of cognitive decline. Without the daily pressure of professional obligations, their previously sharp memories degraded at terrifying speeds. Health experts unofficially refer to this rapid deterioration as retirement syndrome within the medical community. The sudden absence of social responsibility signals to the mammalian brain that the organism is no longer contributing. In the brutal logic of nature, an organism that consumes resources without providing utility is scheduled for deletion. How can we possibly survive the modern world if both relentless stress and complete relaxation lead to physical ruin? The solution requires abandoning the false choice between extreme professional burnout and absolute passive leisure. Our bodies require a very specific dosage of biological stress, known scientifically as the principle of hormesis. Hormesis occurs when a mild toxic exposure or physical challenge forces your cellular biology to grow much stronger. Lifting heavy weights causes microscopic tears in your muscle fibers that your body rebuilds with greater density. Exposure to freezing cold water shocks your cardiovascular system and dramatically improves your immune response. These deliberate discomforts trick your primitive survival software into believing that you are still actively hunting. When your nervous system detects consistent environmental friction, it continuously allocates energy for tissue repair. Beyond physical stress, your mind absolutely requires a psychological concept the ancient Greeks defined as eudaimonia. Wealthy elites started treating functional animal partners like living status symbols and highly customizable toys. Engaging in complex hobbies or learning a difficult new language stimulates neuroplasticity within your aging brain. Every time you struggle to comprehend a new concept, your neurons forge fresh biological connections to bridge the gap. This active mental resistance prevents the default mode network from trapping your consciousness in a loop of worry. The human machine operates efficiently only when it encounters meaningful friction pushing back against its motion. You must view voluntary struggle not as an annoying obstacle, but as the fundamental requirement for your maintenance. A sedentary lifestyle does not protect your joints from wear and tear. It simply signals the body to stop repairing. Avoiding difficult conversations does not preserve your emotional energy. It diminishes your psychological resilience. The modern obsession with ultimate convenience is secretly a prescription for premature physical and cognitive decay. To stay genuinely healthy, you must intentionally engineer artificial struggles into your comfortable daily routine. Walk up the steep stairs instead of riding the mechanical elevator to remind your heart that it needs to pump hard. Read dense philosophical books instead of watching short videos to force your attention span to stretch and grow. The working partnership forged on the Ice Age savanna has devolved into a reflection of our own aesthetic vanity. The message states that you are still an active participant in the wilderness, and you still demand cellular repair. Embracing meaningful difficulty transforms you from a decaying spectator into an active architect of your own health. You are not a fragile machine needing constant protection. You are an organism that thrives exclusively on challenge. Once you accept this evolutionary reality, the uncomfortable struggles of daily life transform into necessary medicine. The absolute absence of stress is not a desirable utopia. It is the silent biological trigger for your deterioration. We must reject the modern myth that sitting perfectly still will somehow save us from the friction of human existence. If this exploration of human behavior shifted your perspective on daily stress, subscribe and join our community now. We decode the hidden evolutionary traps of modern society, and our upcoming investigation will truly blow your mind. The human body physically deteriorates without purpose because our ancient programming interprets total rest as death.